What's up, guys? This is now part 3, episode 3 of The Road to 20K. I trek on saving and investing $20,000 in the year of 2025. So, the concept that I want to kind of talk about before I delve right into the breakdown, which will be in the timestamps. If you want to skip ahead, you're more than welcome to. But I think that you should stick around for the lesson. Comparison is the thief of joy. The more that you compare yourself to someone else's circumstance, the less appreciative, gracious, joyous, and satisfied with where you are. And the person who quoted that, to my knowledge, is Theodore Roosevelt. I've never personally dealt with comparing myself to my peers. I've never really had anybody around me that I wanted to be more alike. Mine was always people that I looked up to that were historical figures. So, like, think generals of the past, famous actors, famous martial artists. I used to look up to people who were great strategists, confident, and made real life impact on other people around them. And almost made it seem as though I wasn't going anywhere fast, when in reality I was making strides given the life, the systems that I had learned, the behaviors that I had learned. That was my starting point, not theirs. My drive and my motivation and my discipline are reflective of the things that I've experienced, not theirs. So it doesn't mean I won't be as great. It doesn't mean that my life isn't as meaningful if I'm not as remembered. All it means is that I spent time comparing myself to people who were in different circumstances, which led to different results, different actions. Doesn't mean that I can't still do great things. I like to give a shout out to a couple people who commented on my last video. I plan on doing this every week. Fortnite Gamer, KB8SS. It says that I'm at 2,300 invested right now as a 15-year-old, and I love seeing other people investing as well. Thank you for commenting. When I was 15 years old, I had like my first job, and I spent a lot of my money. I'm 26 now, by the way. And I really wish that I knew more about investing back then. So this person is on the right path. More kids should be taught about it. Yeah, they should have fun too, but we know the world that we're in. We know the way that things are headed, and it's good to get started, even with a little bit now. The next one was from Michael Buckner, 1851. It says, let's get to 20K by 2026. That's exactly the goal. I love that you have that mindset, and I hope that more of us hop on this trend, because no one is coming to save us. You know, you have to put your money to work. They're like your employees, and every day that you go to work and come home and you're not putting your money to work or yourself to work on something else, building something bigger than your job, you're doing yourself a disservice. So this is the right mindset to have. By 2026, we're going to have that 20K. And the other one is from Nick at Night. We had a couple back and forth, but this is the one that stood out the most to me, because he says that he's going to get into ETF, the ETF route, because it's the safest game. That is absolutely true. I've lost money just as much as I've made money, sort of getting into these penny stocks and small cap stocks that are much more volatile. So this is always the right way to go. This is how I started out, and I just am more risk tolerant than I should be, to be honest, at times. So it either pays off or it hurts you, and that's the chance that you take. But the point is, everybody is on their own personal route without worrying so much about what the next person is doing. If anything, it should be inspiring you. You should not come from an egotistical standpoint, because nobody remembers the guys who gloat about themselves all the time. People remember the people who helped other people along the way. With all that being said, thank you for those comments. Now let's get into my breakdown for this week's Road to 20K. Starting with M1 Finance, that brokerage account, $6,933.07. So we saw a growth of about $873.78 from last week, which is good. It's a good thing because there were some losses in some other accounts. We move on down our Robinhood, which is small cap, almost exclusively now. Robinhood, we're actually down by $1,237.32, $5,227.37. The next one is Fidelity. This one is also a lot of those penny stocks that I have smaller positions in. Fidelity, we saw an increase of $15.75 from our last week. So we're at $281.83. Let's go. Any gain is a gain. In Coinbase, we saw crypto start uptrending again, which is fantastic. Let's see how long it lasts and what it does for the rest of the year. We're at a $148.87 gain to $881.37. Uphold, this is where I have one particular coin, went up about $2.87 this week. So we're at $22.08 in that account. We have my 401k account that I no longer contribute to for the time being. We actually saw a decrease, a slight decrease, a little pullback of $7.49 to now $2,082.14, bringing our grand total from last week down about $203.54 to $15,427.86. That's where we're at right now. I'm actually glad that it's only $200 that I'm down overall, and that's kind of how you got to look at it. Not so much that this particular account is down by this much. That is the name of the game, especially when you're in the small cap stocks long term, and that's what I'm thinking. That's been this week. I hope you guys share more about what you're going through, and I hope you remember the message, and I hope it rings true to you and it makes sense to you that comparison is the thief of joy. There's no one next to you that you need to be more like. You just need to be better than who you were the day before, and I promise you, you do that every day, we are going to be that much better by the end of the year. That's the name of the game. I don't pay attention to what anybody's doing, and I haven't since I was a teenager. I don't have that kind of bone in my body, because what that also does is it develops envy and jealousy, and you have to understand that other people's experiences are their own. Yours are yours. Appreciate it, and take care.